You can have numerous declarations and maybe even plans, but if they're not followed with a sufficient budget, it's quite hard to implement. And I'm happy that the Commission, in its proposal on a budget, dramatically increasing funding for development projects, especially in Africa, in Asian countries and America as well. Basically, we're trying not to leave them behind and be ambitious only on our own, but truly to show that that agenda which we're applying here in the EU can be even faster and easier applied in those regions, because they can afford not to do mistakes we have made and not to lose any time.
Ken Ofori-atta, when you listen to the European Commissioner there, how much are you, tell us the truth here, how much are you really banking on help from Brussels?
You know, my suspicion after sort of being blessed with this opportunity in this seat is that you see that even if trade was improved in a fair way by 1%, that's literally 70 billion new revenue. If illicit financial flows, of which commercial transactions of the West constitute most of it, is fixed, that's another $70 billion. Now, these numbers trump all the aid any of these countries can give to us. So that we come back to, how do we look at this global economic structure such that people get what they are due and there will be no dependence? So the challenge is drumming in not what they are giving us, but really seeing whether the current landscape is fair. And that is the real fight, because that becomes enduring, that becomes sustainable, and that ensures that our green economies can come into being.
And so I know that for the last 3 months, we've been talking about whether there should be a debt freeze for Africa or debt relief. Is debt relief something that you feel is owed to the continent?
Very interesting question. You know, when I look at the rate at which I borrow at about maybe 8%. I look at the rate at which Africa has defaulted financially, it's almost zero. However, I have this Africa risk premium that imposes almost 600-700 basis points on what I can borrow. Now, if I'm servicing, Africa is servicing debt today of about $44 billion a year, debt servicing. And you realize that if this was 1 or 2%, we actually will have to be paying about 15 billion. So you ask yourself, what is this 30 billion risk premium for? You know, and those become the fundamental challenges that we need to fight. You know,
so that's Ken Ofori-atta. That's Ken Ofori-atta, the finance minister, speaking. What about Ken Ofori-atta, the former private banker? Would he agree with that?
Well, the question really is, I mean, when you are structuring anything, you have to decide on the risk before you give the facility. And so my issue is, but you can also structure any product which has a wraparound, you know, with a stronger balance sheet, because you know that the risk, you know, is containable. And we are asking, therefore, to create a special purpose vehicle for Africa in which we have a AAA wraparound so that we can have access to 2 or 1% financing. It's all in thinking big, thinking better, and just, you know, creating a world of mutuality.